If you're someone who relies on SNAP benefits, there's finally some good news coming out of the courts. A federal judge is now stepping in, and it looks like she may order the government to issue food stamp benefits for November. After days of uncertainty and fear that millions of families could go without assistance due to the federal shutdown, this new development could change everything. The hearing happened today, and the judge made it clear that she's not convinced by the administration's arguments for holding back the funds. She's scheduled another meeting tomorrow, and signs point to her issuing a ruling that could force the government to act immediately. So what's really going on here? Congress had already set aside over $5 billion in an emergency fund specifically for situations like this. That money is meant to be used when families face a real crisis, and the judge made an important point today, saying she can't understand how this isn't an emergency when millions of people are about to go without food. Her statement alone gives hope to millions who depend on SNAP every single month to keep food on the table. Now, even if the court orders the release of these funds, there could still be delays. It may take a few days, maybe even a week or more, for the Department of Agriculture and state agencies to restart the system that distributes SNAP benefits. That's where several states have decided to step in and help their residents directly. As of now, over 10 states have announced emergency measures to support SNAP families if federal payments don't go out on time. For example, states like California, Colorado, New York, and Virginia have already put aside emergency funding to make sure their residents don't go hungry. New states have now joined them, including Ohio, Michigan, and Maryland. In Ohio, Governor DeWine just signed an executive order that sets aside $25 million to help families and children who rely on SNAP. In Michigan, the state legislature approved $71 million in food assistance to help nearly 1.4 million residents if the federal funds don't arrive. And in Maryland, the governor has declared a state of emergency to release $10 million to food banks and local support organizations to help bridge the gap. This kind of state-level action shows how serious the situation has become. SNAP isn't just about helping low-income families, it's a cornerstone of the American safety net. Right now, more than 42 million people depend on this program, and if the payments stop, the effects will ripple through every community in the country. Schools, food banks, and even small grocery stores all depend on the stability of SNAP funding. Think about this. Nearly 40% of all SNAP recipients are children. That's about 16 million kids who depend on those benefits for regular meals. Schools are already bracing for what might happen if these benefits are delayed. Many are trying to prepare additional lunch programs or work with community organizations to fill the gap. But the reality is that most school districts simply don't have the resources to replace federal aid. Advocates are warning that childhood hunger could rise sharply if the issue isn't resolved immediately. Food banks are also feeling the strain. Many are already running at full capacity. In fact, organizations like the Salvation Army have reported that demand for food assistance has more than doubled in some areas over the past few weeks. And while these groups do incredible work, they simply can't replace a federal program that distributes over $8 billion in food assistance every month. Small businesses, especially local grocery stores in smaller towns and neighborhoods, are also worried. Many of their customers pay with SNAP benefits, and when that money doesn't come through, it affects their ability to keep shelves stocked and employees paid. For every dollar spent on SNAP, nearly $2 are generated in local economic activity. So when SNAP funding stops, it's not just families who struggle. Local economies take a hit too. That's why this court ruling matters so much. If the judge orders the government to release the funds, even temporarily, it could prevent a major economic and humanitarian crisis from unfolding. And it's not just about food stamps, it's about stability, community, and ensuring that no one goes hungry because of political gridlock. Millions of families are waiting to see what happens next. The next 24 hours could decide whether food benefits are restored for November or delayed indefinitely. Either way, states are stepping up, communities are rallying, and people are watching closely. If you're one of the millions depending on SNAP, know this: you're not forgotten. There are leaders, judges, and organizations fighting to make sure you get the help you need. Keep an eye on the news over the next day or two, because this story is still developing, and there's a real chance that tomorrow brings the official green light for SNAP benefits to continue for November.